Kids are watching TV. Because they are. All right. Looks like the stream has gone live. That's great. In the Twitch chat room, I have all my do not disturbs on. I'm surrounded by spaceships. It's 5 o'clock. It's time to do the streaming. Hey everybody. How you doing? I don't know if anyone's here yet, so I will hang out. I will see what it says. Got my dashboard here. Don't know if my dashboard's gonna tell me anything. Ah, 2 viewers! Hooray! Someone's watching. It's not just me. Fantastic. Okay, very good. Hi, whoever you are. Thanks for coming. I'm Jeff, and let us go to... Hey, here I am. How you doing? Nice to see you. And welcome to my live stream. This is the second time I've tried this. I hope it's going to go a little better than last time. The last time was not the best live stream I ever done. Today I am going to be going through my 3D modeling of spaceship toys stuff. And I don't, if you've seen it, I've got a lot of it. I have many stories to tell about this. Well, first I'm going to walk through really quickly my whole thing about how I make these spaceship toys and what I've been trying to do. Let me cut to a slightly different window. Hold on a second. And there we go. Now I have a new webcam down here, so I can broadcast like this with the webcam. I probably won't be looking at the webcam much because my controls are all over here. All right, so first let me go to this window. Oops, there we go. And I'm going to change the window. Oops, cancel, sorry. I'm going to change the window for a second. I think I can do that. Let's go to preview. So I first started out with this ship. Been working on this ship for a while. I'll make this bigger. Started out with this ship. Let's see, let's fit that to the screen. There we go. I started out with this ship. This is ship number 25. From back in the day, in 2016, last year. And I made a model of it. I made a 3D model of it. And then made this rendering. Then we're going to come back to the real camera. I took that 3D model and I made this. This is that actual 3D model turned into a 3D print. And I got my 3D printer. This is actually one of the first things I did on the 3D printer. And it came out pretty nicely. I'm happy with it. It's faithful. But this is a lot of work. I had to print it in more than one piece, and it's not really suitable for a toy. I've always kind of wanted to make a little toy that I could sell to people, and that would be nice. I printed a smaller version of it, and this is not entirely satisfactory either, for a number of reasons. It's kind of a difficult model to 3D print. So now I've got a whole bunch of other stuff here. So what I then decided was, okay, let's make a small version of it and make it a little more toy-like. And I've made this 3D model. I think this is it. No, it's pretty close. I made this. Yeah, this will work. I made this 3D model, or the 3D model that looks like this, a little more toy-like, and I printed it out at a very fine, high resolution in 4 pieces. There's the front piece, all black, so it's a little hard to see here. But there's the front piece, and here's the engine set, All right. And the centerpiece goes in front of the engine, and you stick the engines on like this. Right, like that. And a separate piece for that underslung gun. And you can see that these are tiny, tiny little pieces. The length of my thumb knuckle. That one right there. But I printed these out to see if I could do, and you can see this stick-on thing here is part of it. I decided to try to mold and cast these and see if I could make that work. So I made a bunch of molds. Here's one. This is the, what is that, the centerpiece? Yep, that's, or the front end. The mold for the front piece. And here's a mold for the centerpiece. And this one is for the gun. A tiny little thing. And this, again, this is something that I decided to do because Bill Duran showing me how to do all this stuff, and Frank Ippolito, Punish Props, and Frank Ippolito from Thingergy, doing all these molding and casting things, and it's marvelous. And so with those, let's see. With those, I printed out, or I didn't print out, I molded and cast a whole bunch of parts, and these are some of the cast parts. Here's the cast guns and the centerpiece. And I took the best of those and I assembled them into little toy spaceships. Excuse me. And that turned out to be a lot of work. A lot of work. I mean, it was fun. I learned a lot. It was amazing to do these molds and cast them. You know, it's just like a really neat thing to make a mold. And this is the master. And I poured this silicone around it to make this mold. And then I used a syringe to squirt smooth on, what was it, smooth on 30 slow. And, voila, you get these amazing cast parts and you glue them together into a ship. But it's a lot of work to make something that is not really something you can sell for, the amount of work that it's worth. It's a lot of handwork. It doesn't reproduce it well. So after figuring all that out, with all this stuff, I decided to try instead. So let me put these back in here. Just be a second. I decided instead to try reworking the ship so I could print it in one piece on a 3D printer and then not have to work on it. So this is the next iteration. This is the next iteration of that model. And this is the same model, and this did print in one piece, but it doesn't print well enough. The back end is kind of messed up. The overhangs don't work. And I tried it in both ABS and in PLA, and that it still didn't quite work. PLA is better at some things, but not as good at other things. And then, of course, as I was trying to print it in PLA, the part fan broke off on my printer, so I had to get rid of it. I had to take it off, and I couldn't use it. And there were many failures in the printing. PLA is harder than it looks. I actually had an easier time printing ABS, believe it or not. These things broke off and popped off and didn't work, and I tried dual extrusion. I tried making supports out of PVA to work with PLA, and it just didn't work. And man, I ran a whole lot of these little bench tests, to see what the strengths and weaknesses of my printer is. This is the overhang test. You can see that above 45 degrees, it falls off pretty badly with ABS. And this is a Z-wobble test, which revealed other problems to me besides the Z-wobble. Temperature differences in the way it prints. So, after that, I'm going to switch back to the window there, and I have to switch this window back, so give me just a moment. So then I went back into Modo, and there we go. Let's transition that, and there it is. So I went back in and I made this little model. And let me go to Moto. There. This is Moto 11. I made this little model. This is a low poly model, and it's in more than one piece. And I used Moto's Mesh Fusion after this. And you can see this is a very different model from the previous one. And it's not as anywhere near as detailed, and it's got a lot of it's got a lot of compromises in it from the original shape and design in order to make it definitely print right the first time. And after making that low poly model, I used Moto's awesome Mesh Fusion to make this one. And if I can render that for you. Oh, wow, it's not going to show you the render window. Okay, well, I can switch to the render window, but nah, why bother? Forward to render, thank you. So there it is. I can go to advanced. Try RayGL, but it might not work. But there's the ship in the lovely advanced viewport view. And it doesn't seem to be handling that very well. So let's go back to, I can go to Gooch Tone, or where's the chair? We go. There's the shiny one. So I made this cool spaceship, this model, and it prints the first time, and that's awesome. And switch back to FaceTime cam so you can see me. There we go. And then I printed this prototype. Here it is. Isn't that nice? Printed in gray, and I printed it in purple. Or, well, this isn't the purple that I wanted. I have the purple that I wanted. I just ordered it. It just came in. And everything's falling down and going boom in front of me. So, oh well. Anyway, so there you go. There's that one. I have another spaceship that I designed. And here it is. This is toy number 2. Very cool. 60 millimeters long. And about, 30 wide, 40 high, 35 wide, 40 high. But there it is. Little toy spaceship. This one I'm going to print copies of in a dark blue. This one I'm going to do in a dark purple. And then we're going to do another ship. That up. And here's the second one. I'm going to switch to Moto again. Hold on. And here's the second ship. This is ship number 2 that I was just showing you on the screen. Oop. Why did OBS just disappear? There it is. Okay, good. Back to Moto. There we go. And there's this ship. Go back to default. And today we're going to work on the next ship, which is going to be this one. Doesn't look like much yet because it's still in progress. Actually, let me show you the sketch that I'm working from. Put that up on the FaceTime cam. Let's transition. Here's the sketch that I am working from. That's the design. This one is up on my thingamajig. It's up on my Patreon as a sketch card, and it will soon be the 3D model. So let's work on that, shall we? Here we go. Back to my other camera. Hey, there we go. All right, now let me get all these spaceships out of my way, because I got a whole lot of them sitting here in front of me. Do. And right, yep, okay. So here we go. Toy spaceship number 3. Oh, my little guy, he's not happy. Okay, toy spaceship number 3. So let's see what we're going to do here. I have made the main body of the ship, and I have made this large thing that's going to cut it out. So I think we will do that. let's we can make a fusion of it. I'm not going to get too crazy about it. Let's see. It's the hexagon, top scoop, mesh. Oh, what do we get if we do that? That's pretty slick. We need to extend that top thing. All right, so the basic process is I make a low poly model and I use mesh fusion in Modo to stick it all together. In this case, I think I'm going to have to do a different thing. I'm going to have to take this thing and do a mesh ops boolean with it, thanks to the wonderful William Vaughn. And I guess Pixel Fondue is his thing. They made this really cool, it's an easier interface for Modo's mesh ops, which lets you do it really, really quickly and easily. So I'm going to take this, I'm going to take the hull and big cut, save my file. Actually, let's close that, don't save. Close that, don't save. And here, stuff here. There we go. Okay, Modo, there we go. All right, so now we're going to take these two, and I'm gonna select this. I have to go to polygon mode, so I hit 3. I select one polygon, and then I hit Command X. Oops, Command Z. Maybe it's Control Shift X. There we go. Create mop boolean. That is now mop boolean. Now I'm gonna select big cut, select one polygon there, and go Control Shift X, and do subtract. And now, select away from that, we've got this nice piece cut out. I'm going to duplicate that mesh op build. I want to duplicate and freeze. So that's mop build 2. I'm going to bring this down. This is going to be cut all 1. And that is exactly what I want it to look like. I probably will have to do a little bit of polygon cleanup here because this is kind of messy. And if I go to subdivide it by hitting tab, the top looks great, the bottom looks like crap. So let's see. We're definitely going to need to do some polygon cleanup. Go here, I'm going to turn on the symmetry X. And we are going to, this has a center one, right? Okay, so I'm going to select all these bottom ones. I'm going to go to edge, add loop. I'm going to do split the middle. And I'm going to click right there. It's not going to work the way I expect because that happens sometimes. But it did in fact work, and it will do pretty much what I want it to do. So quit that tool. I'm going to go to vertex, drag weld. I'm going to drag that vertex over. And now this thing is split right down the middle. And I'm going to deselect. I'm going to use and hit C to do edge slice. I'm going to make that cut right down the middle. Symmetry on. So let's see. So we're going to do. I have to make cuts along here. So edge slice C. Drag that to 0. Cross. And shift. Edge slice, drag that to 0, come across, drag that to 0, come across, drag to 0, come across. All I'm doing here is extending these weird cuts from the mesh op boolean. I'm making this a better object, basically. So there we go. All right. I think that should do it, although we've got a few strays. Okay, let's add here. Add that there. add one here. Let's add one here. Now again, this is for when I'm going to be subdividing it later. So now I'm going to put a pair down this, match up. Nope, still got some strays. Quit, C, drag to 0, come to middle, C, drag to 0, middle. Mesh ops does not make a clean Boolean. It makes, it makes the best Boolean it can. Modo is super tolerant of, oops, excuse me. Hang on a second, let me just get back to ODS. Oh, probably a little quiet here. Mostly because I don't have the mic close enough to my face. There we go. That's probably better. C. So I'll hit C. And drag to the middle. C, drag to the middle. C, drag center line. Center line. Yeah, so unlike the mesh fusion, which makes a really clean fusion, but it does it with subdivisions so that it is, how do you say it? It's a much more memory intensive piece of hardware when you do that. All right, quit. Now I got to go through here real quick and make some control edges. So I'm going to start down here. See, this is essential when you're doing anything that's going to be subdivided. If you need a nice crease on it, you go through and you do control edges. There's another way to do it. You can do weight and weight the mesh. Oop, oh, there's a stray. You can use edge weighting, which will also work, but that can be fraught with peril because Modo, for some reason, when you edge weight and then you subdivide or fusion mesh or do any of these things, Modo does not always take into account the edge weight when you do a fusion mesh. So you lose your creases and you'll just get a blob, and that's no fun. So this is going to be the control edge that goes all the way around on this side. Oop. And I'm going to cheat to make the next control edge because it'll be faster that way. I actually do want to have a essentially ready to print model by the end of this 1 hour and 45 minutes. I got to knock off a little earlier than the schedule would suggest because I got to take my kid to the movies. Yay, that's going to be fun. All right. You'll notice that I will be trying to modulate my voice to be a little deeper and a little more relaxed and a little less breathy and a little less sibilant. There we go. Well, it didn't work all the way around, did it? Okay. So let's turn off symmetry and we have to join those by hand. Happens, not a big deal. Let's do this. Let's quit. Let's go geometry and use the marvelous mesh cleanup. That might help a little bit. And looking on the inside of this and not seeing anything crazy, let's drag weld that one to there. Let's see if we can connect these two. Let's drag weld that one to there. All right. And we're going to have to come back in here and go C. Oops. Turn symmetry back on. We're going to need that. I'm sure that's not looking right. Okay. Let's drag weld again. All right, so I've had to do enough non-symmetrical stuff that I'm going to sit here. I'm going to go cut that right down the middle. Let's go to the 4 view, and I'm going to Q, and I'm going to delete vertices. Oh, got to turn off symmetry by symmetry. Do that. Oh, a couple that didn't pop. Just one. Delete. All right, so I deleted one whole side. I'm going to go to duplicate, mirror. I'm going to turn on snapping because I have it snapping to grid. And now that should be perfectly symmetrical again. We don't want asymmetrical meshes, really, when we're doing this stuff, because it just makes it harder. All right, now I told you I was going to cheat on the interior. Let's turn on symmetry. I told you I was going to cheat on these interior things to get the edge. Go back up to make that a full screen of that one window, perspective window. And this is how I cheat. You select all these things. Make sure they're all selected. Hope and pray. Okay. And I'm going to use Shift B, which is polygon bevel. And I'm going to just pull this red thing in a little bit. And pulling the red thing in a little bit gives us, it insets all these polygons and gives us a real nice border edge, which I can now use. Now if I hit tab, you can see that we get a pretty decent cut here. I'm going to have to fix a couple of things, but it's not too bad. All right, so again, that's our one big shape of this spaceship, and everything else is going to be basically glued into this. All right, what time we got? 5:30. Okay, not bad. Not even 5:30. 5:26. Okay, so let's add a control edge down here. Actually, let's do a fun thing. I can do this. I'm going to go up to the right side view. Now I'm going to first I'm going to select these vertices here, turn off snapping, and I'm just going to drag these down. I'm going to drag that one down. I'm going to drag this one forward, and let's drag that one around a little bit again. I just want these to be flatter. Doesn't have to be perfect. This thing is going to be printed at a size of 60 millimeters, and I'm moving things like fractions of millimeters, 15 microns. All right, so now there's another cool tool, Shift C, which is slice, and I can just draw a slice line. If I wanted to make it exactly match that, I could use snapping, but I can draw a slice line and quit, and now I've got my control edge that goes around that bottom. So now I hit tab and look at that beautiful, beautiful edge. Look at that. That's the marvelous thing about control edges. Let's see how it looks up here. Okay, we need to do a little work up here because we don't have it up here. Let's do this again. I'm going to select all the, actually, you know what I'm going to do? First, I'm going to do this. I'm going to delete those edges, and I'm going to, once again, use Shift B for polygon bevel. I'm going to pull that in just a little bit to there. All right, and now I'm going to connect using the C key, which is edge slice. I'm going to connect those corners, and I'm going to remove those two lines. So now it's all quads around the corner. No, it's supposed to be all quads around the corner. Ah, there's something I missed. We can delete that, and vertex, drag weld, click. Now let's see. Okay, so those weird pulls there mean that some polygons are not attached as they should be, and we can see that because we've got these lines. So I'm going to add in Let's see. Are these vertices? Is that, yeah, it's 2 vertices. Let's join averaged. Join averaged. Okay, that one's fine. No, that's a little bit better, right? Okay. So I've got this second line that I'm going to have to do, but up here we've got a pull, which means something isn't properly attached, and right there we've got a pull, which means something isn't attached. So it's 4 vertices, so we're going to join averaged, and there we go. And how about that? Is that all the way done? Let's click on that one. No. 2 vertices. I'm going to check all of these and see if everything is welded the way it ought to be. And I'm going to do mesh cleanup in a moment. But, so we've got that pull there. That's not a nice pull. And let's see. Okay, that's jumping pretty hard. So let's do this. C and drag, and C, drag, C, drag, hold shift. If you're using a tool and you want to use it a bunch of times, you hold shift to repeat. And I'm just making quads out of this, so it does that basically. And there it goes. That looks good. Okay. Tab. And let's make another control edge around here. 1, 2, oops. C. Ding. Oh, no, don't want to do that. Let's try that again. C. There we are. There we go. This is just to hold this thing together so it doesn't fly apart in horrible ways. Trying to get a what I've heard called a well-behaved quad mesh out of this pile, and it may or may not work. This doesn't have to be super precise because, again, we're talking about microns here. This is a very small model physically, and it does not need to be in any way geometrically perfect. In fact, I'm going to remove a couple of these edges because this is not necessary, and neither is that one. Very nice. So now, we've got extra edges there, which we will delete. And now that's a beautiful, beautiful edge. Very cool. And I think we still have a couple of places here where there's not a proper, not a proper thing across. Okay, yeah, that's definitely not looking right. You can put a few edges in here, add some. I'll make triangles out of it, and then I will unmake triangles out of it. Triangles make a sub-D mesh hull, for those of you who are not familiar with the way the sub-D mesh works. Oh, there's something missing. And let's put that one there and that one there. Q, tab. How's our edge now? Looks pretty good, but we've got pulling because we've got these triangles here. So I need to redirect the triangles. How about we do this? Let's go here, here, and just make these go along. Actually, wait, let me try this. I'm undoing that, and I'm going to, once again, I'm going to go to cut again, but now I'm going to make, what does this have? No, it does not. Okay, never mind. C, and we cut an edge across, and all the way around to the front. I'll straighten that out in a moment. We're going to cut another edge across, and all the way around to the front. Again, I'm just winging this as fast as I can. And I'll clean it up later. Bring it around to the front. And same here, 2, 3, 4. And this is so I can get rid of those triangles, and then I'll worry about making sure that the shape curvature, or the curvature of the form here is proper. Q, C, 1, 2. There we go. And please, if you're watching on Twitch, please come in the chat room and say hi, because it's nice to know that someone is around. Let's do that. And way in here, I see. There's a couple of these that are missing. Right, I guess I didn't put in the appropriate edges here and here and here and here and here. Where they were missing. Let's see, yeah, it's still pulling. Something's off there. There we go. There's one. And okay, that's looking okay, but now I'm going to remove these triangular bits here and hit it, and there, that's a much better edge. Much better edge. Probably do the same thing here going over the top, but that's not bothering me anywhere near as much as it was. All right, so now I can probably delete a few of these. Probably don't need that one. And no, we need that one. Probably don't need... Yeah, we definitely don't need that one. And we don't need... we do need that. But we don't need this one. Shift G to select between and delete. Tab. Okay, I think that's gonna work. Let's look at it from the right. Close that. Go up to right view. Ah, well, that's why it's not doing what it's supposed to. So now I'm going to do a little scaling. Let's make this action center automatic, and then I can click over here, but then click there, and right, and I'm pulling these down because it's not straight, this cut. Because these little pixels, these vertices are kind of all over the place. Oh wait, darn it. Undo, 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 undo. Okay, because that's I got a control edge there, right? Got to keep my control edge. These things need to be redone. Or do they? Let's see. Nah, it'll work. We'll make it work. And just notice that these are a little high. I'm going to just pull them down a little bit. Yeah, they're definitely a little high. No, we'll worry about it later. Okay, so now we got this shape. Hooray! So that's the shape of the main body of the thing, and we've got this top scoop. And let me refer to my sketch again. Okay, so now we're going to do another triangular sort of piece. And I'm looking at this, and I'm looking at my sketch, and I think I can do it in just one more piece. What I'm going to do is we're going to go to a front view. Oh, yeah. I can, let's see. go to front view like that. There's a keyboard shortcut. Let's see what it is. 4, no, 5. No. There we go. Front view is 2. Okay. 7, 8, 9. No, we want default. Okay, so 1, top, 2 is front, 3 is right. Okay, so let's go to 1, 2, front. I'm going to make a new mesh. Add item mesh. And for the moment, I want to make inactive not the same as active. I'm going to go to my cylinder. I'm going to drag one out. Yeah, that is what it's supposed to be. Let's make that 10. We'll make that 10. And let's just make that 10 millimeters as well. And we're going to rotate. I'm going to quit. I'm going to rotate. Oops. Escape. I'm going to quit the tool. I'm going to use E to rotate. Let's turn off symmetry. I'm going to rotate it 90 degrees, and it did it exactly. Let's put on snapping because I want it to snap right to the middle. And now let's go to, that's right. How do I get perspective? I don't. 1. Is there control 1? Ah, control 2, control 4. Oh, 2, that's front. Okay, no, I don't want RGL. About 0. Oh, that gives me back 4. Okay, cool. So top, bottom, front, right. These are draw styles, right? Default. I know that there's keyboard shortcuts. I just don't know what they all are. So let's go Shift 1. That's bottom, back, left. Control 1 is RGL full. Control, okay. Control 1 cycles through RGL. Control 2 does nothing. Shift right, okay. There we go, dot is perspective. I knew it was in there somewhere. All right, and we're gonna pull it back and we're gonna look at the right view. And I'm gonna look at my sketch. You'll see my head move. Right, there's my sketch. We're gonna take this all the way to the back. And in fact, I'm gonna click there and move it so it locks right to the back of that. This is important because it's going to print on the bottom. When I print these things, I print them on this bottom edge. So that needs to be flat. In order to print this with no support, that needs to be flat so that it prints okay. I've determined that my printer has a maximum angle that it will print at with an overhang, and with ABS it's 45 degrees roughly. It's actually a little bit less. So as long as I keep any angle, if this is the plate at the bottom of the thing, as long as I keep any angle this side of 45 degrees, it will work. So all right, and I'm going to need to make this just a little bit bigger because that line needs to be right there. I'm going to have this cutting into that. So now this is positioned in a place where it should mold in quite nicely. Let's go back to inactive, same as active. That should mix very well. So I want this to have a rounded bottom edge, right? Yes, I do, but I don't need to worry about the other edges. So I'm gonna grab my edges and I'm gonna hit B to bring up the bevel tool. This is edge bevel. I'm gonna pull on that until I get what I like out of this. I think that's looking pretty good. Actually, before I do that, let me go to the top polygons of this. And I'm going to make it a little bit wider, I think. Just a little bit. And I think I'm also going to make, I'm going to knock out these two sets of edges for now. I'm also going to make the front polygon bigger. I'm going to make the front polygon wider than the back polygon. And yeah, that's going to make this less than a perfect triangle, but I think that's going to work better for what I'm trying to do. And does that have curvature? Yeah, it looks like it does. Okay, so Z, and Shift Z. Q, quit. Okay. I need some vertical curvature on this, or I need curvature this way. So I'm actually going to subdivide this thing. Let's hit D and see what we get. No, that's not what I wanted to do. That's SDS subdivide. No. Let's go Shift D. Faceted. There we go. And I am actually going to subdivide that one too, and then select these three. And vertex. Going to join them averaged. Now I'm going to have symmetry on, symmetry's on. I'm going to select these two edges. And I'm going to select local. No, I'm not going to select local. I'm going to select element for my action center, turn off snapping, and I'm going to pull these out a little bit. Then I'm going to quit that. I'm going to save because it's entirely likely that Modo will crash right now as I do this. It crashed on me yesterday at work while I was working on it. I'm going to hit B again, and I'm going to pull this out to there. That's going to give us, that's probably, no, I'm going to need that much. All right, so that's going to give us a nice little set of curvature, just barely, on that. And then I'm going to curve the bottom. So that's going to be B again. And I'm going to pull that up. That's very nice. I'm going to quit, and then I'm going to take this whole thing and go to Automatic Action Center again and pull it down just a little bit until it cuts in right here. I want to make sure that that's not just hanging out over the edge. Now, technically, I should do this too. Oops, on the wrong one. Let's go to Cut Hull. Technically, who is an awesome young 3D modeler. Don't need that. All right, so because of how this is shaped, technically, no, I'm not doing it right. All right, I'm going to take a risk on that one, and that may actually print okay, even though it's not at an angle. We'll see. We'll find out the hard way. All right, now I can get rid of, go back to our mesh. I can get rid of that because according to my sketch, I'm going to need to do a couple of, slices. One here Not quite so sharp. All right, does that look right? There we go, and another one right behind it. A little wider. Perfect. Okay. So now, let's go back to perspective. And it's the number pad period is perspective. Let's go surfing now. Everybody's learning how. Okay, now I actually need to do a slice. Let's go back to the right side view. Let's go Shift C again. And I'm just going to pull that down. This doesn't have to be perfectly vertical, but I would like it to be close. It's going to go right there. Oop. Quit. Shift C. Let's try that again. Yes, now it should cut the whole thing. As vertical as we can. And put it right to there. There is, as always, a method to my madness. We're going to go scale, and I'm going to pick that up. A little less. I'm going to go edge, slide. I want to slide it forward. Oop, it's not going to work right. Okay, never mind. Let's just move it forward and down a little bit. Perfect. And now we are going to select all the polygons at the back. I select all those polygons at the back, and I am also going to scale those upwards just a little bit. And then I'm going to do the same for the back polygon. Scale it up like that. And that now matches our sketch. I'm actually going to delete these because we don't need them. I'm going to do the trick that you saw before, where I grab a polygon, Shift B, turn off symmetry, quit, Control Z, Control Z, Control Z, grab a polygon, make sure symmetry is off, Shift B for polygon bevel, just pull that in, and now if I hit tab, you can see that everything seems to be working pretty well. Huh, interesting. Shift tab. You know what, I need to turn the vertices off. The vertices are a little bit advanced options. Visibility. Where's the show vertices? Under here somewhere. Excuse me. No vertices. HUD. No. No, that's not it. Active meshes. I don't know where it is, so it doesn't matter. Anyway, so that's why. It's this one that I want to do. Front dot. There we go. Make inactive same as active. There we go. I like the view without the vertices better, especially when I'm doing tab stuff. It looks like I beveled all the edges, didn't I? Oh, silly Jeff. Let's go backwards. And Z. There we go. That's when it happened. Let's get rid of these again. Yay for undo, folks. Yay for undo. Shift B and pull that in and quit. And now we hit tab and it's a blob. Of course it's a blob because we don't have control edges. Let's go to add loop, turn off split at the middle so I can drag one there and drag one there and drag one there. Nice. Drag Drag, and I'm going to have to drag one all the way up to the front. Let's put it there, even though we can't see it. And look at that. Now, I'm going to hide cut hull. And let's make a loop. Right. Oops. Want those. We want symmetry. And we got some funny stuff going on here, but it's gonna get fixed. I promise. I promise. It's gonna get fixed. Add loop. Select those and okay. So and Z. That's not working. Quit. Let's select these two vertices here and go turn off symmetry, vertex, join averaged. Select those and join averaged. Have a problem. Houston, we have a problem. Or we've had a problem is the canonically correct way to say it. There's a problematic yeah, of course there is. Yeah, okay. There we go. So now I can select what I was trying to select before. Turn off symmetry. Just want to turn off symmetry because it'll make it a little bit easier to do this properly. I'll turn it back on in a minute too, but let's edge, add loop, and zoop. There's a control edge, and I don't think we need one there, but we are going to need one on the top. So first, let's knock these things together as they should be. So we're using edge slice. You hit C, and you do that. And oh, it's not symmetry. So now we can do symmetry. We hit tab. Still a little bit of a roll there. So I'm going to select these top polys, all of them. That one. And Shift B. Off symmetry. No, did that in the wrong angle. Command Shift Z. Symmetry is off. Shift B. Pull that in a tad. Quit Q. And we want to join these. This one and that one. Not giving it to me, is it? There we go. Join averaged. Averaged? Not joining averaged. I don't know why. Join averaged? Doesn't want to. Let's go vertex, drag weld, and it doesn't even see that one because I guess I goofed. Okay, well, whatever. There we go. Tab. And join averaged, yes. Tab. Alright, and we may need one in the front here, so let's just go bing, bing, bing. This can be sloppy, it doesn't matter. Oh, because it doesn't have a center line. Okay. That's alright. There, and go there, and let's make sure those are joined. And it appears to be one vertex, so I got it right the first time. Okay, C. That. Again, this does not have to be perfect. This doesn't matter. This does need to be reasonably decent. But no worries. Do tab. And we have to fix these monsters here. 4 vertices, join averaged. Tab, much better. Select that edge, delete it, don't need it. Tab, oh yes, very nice. Oh, very nice. Okay. Tab. And we've got problems here as well, so let's go grab that. Let's join them. Averaged, very nice. Let's do a thing and another thing and a thing. And quit that. Let's knock those two out. Don't need them. Very nice. We should probably fix that. Hit 1 to select your vertices. Drag through, select through, tab, and here we go. Okay, so now we've got that shaped about as I want it. I think I want that control edge to be sharper, so I'm going to go edge, add loop, and I want to pull that in a little tighter. Sometimes it takes 2 control edges to get the sharpness that you want. And yeah, I think that one's going to need it too. Edge, add loop. Let's do that. Quit, tab. Okay. All right, so now we turn on that cut hull again, and there we go. So now the main body of this thing is blocked in pretty well. I'm going to be using Mesh Fusion to boolean these things together into one nice smooth piece. So it's okay that they're intersecting like this. Believe it or not, we're going to get a really nice piece out of this when we are done. All right, how we doing for time? 6 o'clock. Okay, 45 minutes I've got. Wow, I think I can finish this in 45 minutes. Yeah, very cool. Hope you're enjoying the show. Don't know how many of you there are because I can't see. And no one seems to be chatting in the chat room, so it happens. Oh well. All right, well, I'm not gonna, I do not take offense. That's not how it works around here. I might take a wall, but I won't take a. Oh, no, that's horrible, Jeff. Don't try to be funny. Don't try to be funny. Yeah, I'm not funny. I have to remind myself that I may think I'm funny, but I'm not funny. Not in the slightest. All right, so how are we doing here? Let's look at cut hull. Is that, yeah. There's a problem with the cut hull. Let's see. Let's go to geometry, mesh cleanup. Mesh cleanup can be very helpful. There's still a problem. Let's see, what do we got? That's one vertex. Let's select all the vertices and see what's going on. Something isn't connected here. That's why we've got this. That is that vertex. Got that. Oh, that's 2. So we can definitely vertex join averaged. Turn off symmetry, join averaged. There we go. That's better. Still have a problem there. 3 vertices. That shouldn't be 3 vertices. How many is that? That's 1. That's 3. So we're going to join those averaged. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Much better. Much better. Okay, very good. Now, all right, so back to the side view. Hello, side view, very nice. Very nice. Now, we've got a number of other things going on in the side view. And let's see, I'm not necessarily sure how to make this happen. Got a cut line that goes across there. Union, tract. Okay, here's how I'm going to do it. I'm going to make another mesh. I'm going to save. Thank goodness this hasn't crashed yet. Yay! Moto's actually pretty good about crashing, but the 11's got a few bugs still. They haven't quite patched it up yet, and I haven't downloaded the latest patch. So. All right, let's see. Going to make a new mesh. This is, let's rename that one to lower hull. And we're going to make a new mesh. And this mesh is going to be indent 1. Call it indent 1. I'm going to get my my box tool, basically. And I'm going to look at my sketch. going to go right to, is it exactly? No, it's a little bit in front of that. So we're going to go like this. And I'm going to go to perspective. Oh, perspective. And it is not, there we go. There's our symmetry. Push this in. Needs to go in. I'm actually going to make this wider. I want it to be quite wide. And I need it to be taller because I'm going to make a, need that to be centered on that. Right? Okay. I know I'm being very descriptive. I need that to be centered on that. That's okay. That's kind of how we're going to do it. And I'm going to get my edge, add loop. I'm going to split this in the middle again because I want to split it right there. I'm eventually going to cut the top right off. So let's go back to perspective. Oops, wrong button. Perspective. Oh, that's my camera button. 0, 0, 0, 0. This one. Oh, there we go. Okay. And are going to bevel this edge here. Probably should bevel the top edge too. I'm just going to bevel this edge. I'm going to bevel this edge, and I'm going to do it so that it is a reasonably square square. Right there. Okay. Or a reasonably square circle, like an actual circle. That, and it is, of course, breaking on the other side because that's how it works. And good. Now I'm going to quit. I'm going to delete the top half completely. I'm actually going to turn off the hull and lower hull for a second because that's bothering me. I'm not sure why it's doing that, but figure it out. Let's go 1, and we can set 2 vertexes. Yep, join averaged. Join average. There we go. That'll fix it. And we can polygon make and just fill that with one big polygon. That's fine. Butt hull, lower hull. That is going to be, select that. That's going to be deleting out. Let's go all the way back like that. And don't want that to cut the, I want that to cut the upper hull. So I probably need to, let's do a, should I snap it? I think that's precision enough. Quit. All right, so that is going to be a Boolean. I'm going to rotate it outward slightly. Rotate it outward slightly, and then I'm going to grab these edges. Grab these edges, and I'm going to pull them back so that that is not vertical. And I'm going to grab all those edges, and I'm going to pull them forward again until that intersects where I want it to, which is right there. Quit. Okay. That's cool. So let me now show you how I can make a mesh fusion out of this. It's just going to be the preliminary mesh fusion. Well, I don't know. Do you want to see that? I don't know if you want to see that. That's what I'm going to do there. All right, now let's go to, right? And that doesn't intersect, so I can make another piece that's going to be a part of this. And again, we're going to make this 20 sides. And we're going to make it 4 by 4 millimeters. Drag it so it's pretty much right in the center of that. 4 by 4 millimeters, right? Yep, that's good. And actually, let's make it 4.5 by 4.5. Drag it up a little bit. And we'll go to the perspective view now. Drag this in. Oop, I want one segment. We're gonna push that into the side of the thing. Oh, pull that out because I want it to cut in. All right, now let's this. How far in is that? Far enough, very good. Now I'm going to do that. I'm going to go Shift B, pull that forward, and I'm going to make it smaller. Yeah, I know I'm kind of working in the dark here. All right. So let's go to turn off make inactive, same as active. We're going to edge and add some control loops here. Oop, still got it on split in the middle. That off, add a control edge there, and one out here. And we're going to select that, Shift B, pull it in just a tiny bit to do a control edge there. Oh yeah, and we got to do control edges on this part too. Add loop is. There it is. It's not going to add a loop. Wait, let's do it this way. Let's do this. Let's select that whole thing, Shift B, pull it in. There we go. There's a nice control edge for that. Q, select that and that, Shift B, pull it in a little bit. There's a nice control edge for that. And we're going to need to we need to go C, cut, 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 and let's cut again. 2, 3, come all the way over here. 3, 4, 5, quit. Tab, how's that look? That looks good. The back does not look good, but the back doesn't matter. I can go for the back. I can go cut, 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 cut. That's better. All right, and let's go around the corner. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you can see this is kind of an involved thing. It's a lot of work to make a little spaceship toy. There's a lot of forethought you have to put into it. And you know, I haven't learned how to use Fusion 360 yet. I mean, like I've played with it, I get it, but but it is not. It's not as. I'm just faster in Moto. That's why I don't want to spend a lot of time sitting here when I have a deliberate target for this. I want these ships to be done for a very specific reason, which I will tell you. And that is Shift B. That is that I want to be able to offer these as additions to the book that I'm about to Kickstarter in like a week. My spaceship book. I want to be able to let you grab these from my spaceship book. Okay. Now, so this isn't like a live Boolean. It's not like Modo. But here's what we're going to do. I'm going to make a copy of these three things. I'm going to duplicate the layers. I'm going to parent them to a group locator. And I'm going to turn off the other ones. Oops, need those. Drag them there. So these are copies, and I'm going to make a fusion item out of these. So these two, go to the fusion tab, and I'm going to add them as primary. And our fusion item is not showing up. There it is. You can see that they are glued together, and they have been triangulated as sub-B surfaces. Indent 1, I'm going to add as a traction, and I'm going to trim that, and we go to fusion item, and look at that. And we've got our indents, and everything looks about like it's supposed to. So now if I turn all those off and click away and go to polygons on a fusion item, now you can kind of see how this is going to work. I'd rather do it this way than build a whole new set of symmetry around this, or a whole new set of topology around this. It makes a better STL for printing. All right. That's our main hull, and we only got a couple more things that we need to do with this. There's one more piece I got to stick in, and then we got to make some little cut lines. All right, so I'm going to turn that off. I'm going to turn that off. We're going to go back to our previous things here, and these are going to be our actives. Turn those off. Close that. On, off. Very good. Okay, all right. Turn those on and turn them off. All right. So now if we make inactive same as active again, now we've got this thing again. I'm going to make another mesh. I'm going to go back to make inactive same as active. I'm going to turn it off. I'm going to look at my right-hand view. I'm actually going to copy. I'm going to go to indent 1. I'm going to copy this piece. Command C to copy and Command V to paste. And I'm going to shrink it down in this direction because I have a little piece that extends into the center of that and echoes that cut shape. I'll show you in a moment what I mean. Let's go back to perspective. And yeah, I'm not going to need that stuff. I'm not going to need these. Delete them. Going to need these. Select the loop. Delete. I'm going to need this. I'm going to do polygon make, auto. Nice. 3, Shift B to bevel, and pull that in. All right. So now I think I'm actually going to go to indent 1, and I'm going to do a thing here. I want to move some of these vertices using a linear fall off. I'm going to go to the front view. I'm going to go linear fall off, and I'm going to draw my fall off out, just like that. And I'm going to go W. Because I want, you. Select everything that I want to select. There we go. Select through. And let's go W to move. And it still didn't select everything I wanted to select, so let's go like that. W to move. There we go. We selected through. I'm going to pull that to there so it doesn't dig in quite so far. I want to do that. It will still look exactly the same, and I can turn the fall off. It will still look exactly the same from the side, but that actually looks a lot different now. And let's go to perspective. That's more like it. So this piece, I want to needs to fall within that. So this is gonna be tricky. So I'm gonna move that in. I want to make sure that cuts all the way in because this is going to be added to the subds. Pull this all the way in. I'm turning things off because I'm going to do the same kind of thing that I just did there here. Pull this in so that it is, front view. So it's inside that line. I'm going to turn my fall off back on, drag it. I'm going to quit my move tool, drag my fall. Give me my fall off, buddy. Where's the fall off? There it is. And now I hit move again, and it will drag only the up, that up a little. That's got to be right there. Okay. Well, only that angle. Fall off and just push it in. This is going to have the effect of blending that into the addition inside the ship. Ooh. Something didn't work. That one didn't move. So we'll just move one. And this buddy here didn't move either. Sorry, this is tiny technical stuff. Okay. That all didn't move. Oh, that's a bummer. Now let's just slide the edges. Edge, slide. There we go. If you hear maniacal screaming in the background, that's my 4-year-old. He does that. Slide back a little bit. Yeah, clearly I didn't select all the way through there either. Well, that's okay. It's looking proper. So now the next thing we need to do is we'll go to the right side view. We got to turn on that hull. We got to turn on that. And I am going to come here to select all of these around to this one. And I'm going to go up one. Goes out. You hit select and keyboard up button. Make sure this is correct. Want one more? Oh, it's one more. Okay. So that. Annoying. Those three. Okay, let's go back to the side view. Yeah, that looks correct. Okay. So now I'm going to delete those. Why? Why, you say? Why? Those poor polygons. Well, here's the reason. Because now I'm going to take these edges and I'm going to extend it out. Extend it out without moving it first. Go to okay. Extending them straight out that far. And then I'm going to come over here, back to perspective. Well, that's going to be a challenge. Well, that's okay. Yeah, actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do a thing here. Hang on. I messed something up. I messed this up, so I'm going to go to my front view. I'm going to select all of this, and I'm going to make that. I'm going to select all of this, and I'm going to make it. Dang it! Select all of this. Vertical again. And I'm going to drag it all out here. But try that again. Drag it all out here. I'll make that happen in a slightly different way. And back to here. Right. So I need to select this edge. Ooh, this needs to go. Bye. I need to select these two edges. Once again, I'm going to extend them. Hit Z. Click. Extend them down. Extend them back. And that is going to parallel that bit. Does it parallel it perfectly? No, it actually closes. So we'll do that. Now extend it again, straight to there. Now I'm going to bridge these edges. Edge bridge, segment 1, not connect. No, we're not doing that. Just hit apply. And let's go back to perspective and we'll see what I've done. All right, so now I've made a box out of this. And if I select all those, I can polygon make. And now that is, believe it or not, okay, that is, believe it or not, a thing that we can use as a subdivision. Okay, so now I'm going to be adding that in. I'm deleting these things. I don't need them anymore. I do need that though. And oops, I need this too. Delete those. And need to make a, once again, need to make a control edge for that. Very nice. And this side too. Actually, not that side yet, because I gotta cut this. So it will be inside the hull. We're gonna go with front view, two is the front view. I'm going to go front view, I'm going to go a Shift C, and I'm going to pull a line down through that, and it's not going to work because I'm on the wrong, am I on the wrong thing? Maybe it is going to work. Let's quit and see what we got. Yep, there's a line. Okay, so let's Shift C, let's do this again. And I just want it to be inside this thing at a reasonable angle. Okay, quit. Now we're going to select that loop and delete it. We go back to here and we're going to delete that. We're going to select that edge loop and polygon make auto. Shift B and we have to select the polygon, Shift B, and pull it inwards. All right, now let me turn off that. This is inner circle add. Call that. Turn on that hull. And didn't completely get rid of this. Delete. Delete. Deleted. Geometry. Mesh cleanup. Very good. All right. So now I'm going to duplicate this one. Duplicate. I'm going to drag it into the old group locator here because that's where our mesh fusion is. I'm going to turn on, we're going to see the fusion item. I'm going to turn that off. I'm going to turn these two off. And I'm going to inner circle add is going to be a primary. So I go to the fusion panel and I go add to mesh as primary. And we come down here to fusion item. There it is, added in. Not quite exactly what I was looking for, so I need